Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Hey everyone, just checking in on the Major 3 here. I'm in a bit of a rush. Going to hit the road, head to Charlotte, working with Drumstrong this weekend. It's an organization I've been volunteering with for the past decade, raising funds and awareness for cancer research through rhythm, drum circle and all that. I'll make sure and get some fun footage. So looking at Bitcoin, this pullback is definitely more extreme than most people thought we would see, and it was due to a lot of longs being liquidated and a lot of stops being triggered at the same time. That led to huge bounce opportunity. I looked at my phone, saw the bounce taking place, and I rolled back over and I went to bed, and that's just my choice. But there was plenty of opportunity for those out there looking to play the bounces. And out of these three, Bitcoin actually saw one of the most impressive bounces. So this is the kind of scenario where scaling in can get a little bit scary, which is why you want to space things out very significantly. Because as we were noting in the last few videos, the shift has been on. 5-minute oversold bounces used to be automatic. It shifted to the 15-minute oversold bounces. And now it has shifted again to the hourly oversold bounce that we were waiting for. And we certainly got really extremely beat up. The 4-hour RSI at the low of the candlestick was down at oversold territory. And if we look at it on the hourly time frame, we can see the long lower wick and the top of the bounce. Very quickly, we saw about an $800 bounce, over 10%. And since then, we're watching now the hourly exponential resistance in a tightening range to say, is this going to be a bear break and head back down to test the recent low? Or can the bulls break bullish and try and shift the momentum on the 4-hour time frame? We have a lower high every single candlestick since the pullback started. We have the exponential resistance to be watching on the 4-hour. We have a bear cross of the exponential moving averages for the first time on this entire bull move. So very clearly, we noticed the short-term little signs of momentum shifting, and it reached that climax where everybody at the market all at once said, okay, top's in, we're consolidating now. And those with nimble fingers able to get in. We had the alerts. We were talking about the 15-minute oversold alerts being the climax signal. And last night it was the hourly oversold that hit it on the way down. That triggered it 6,900, ended up dropping another $275 from there, but very quickly a bounce and a profitable position. So that's the kind of scenario where if you do start scaling in too early, you want to make sure you got a whole bunch of ammo, because even if I make my first entry, let's say 7400s, by the time we drop down, I mean, we were dropping hundreds of dollars in a 5-minute time span. So spacing those orders out, $200-$300 apart, even if you started to enter early, it would have allowed for at least a break-even exit by waiting for that oversold bounce to take place. And those who were a little bit more patient had some really nice gains as far as their opportunity on that bounce. So where I stand, I'm looking to play Ethereum, and I'll point that out in just a second right now, but we're just looking for a daily higher low to form. The daily exponential moving average is right there, the 12 period, and we'll see if the bulls can close over that level. And now I anticipate to trade within this range for a significant amount of time. And we have our high and our low of the pullback. We're not confident that low of the pullback is set yet, because we do have to see a shift in momentum on the hourly and 4-hour time frame for us to be confident. But between these levels, let's say that was our low and we were confident, that range is significant enough, a solid 27% range, that we could trade within this range once that bottom's found for another week or so. So things are going to slow down a little bit. Volatility is going to drop off if the bottom is in. Again, that's the if right now. We have to wait and see, can the bulls break this hourly tightening range bullish? Can we shift the momentum and get over the hourly exponential resistances? Because again, if we can't, we're just slowly fading back down to the recent low. Ethereum on the daily time frame, pulling back, hasn't even touched the daily exponential support at this point. Certainly looking for a daily higher low to form. Didn't get as extreme as Bitcoin did, and that has to do with less liquidations taking place, less stop losses being triggered. And where we stand right now, we have a little lower high and lower low pattern without much follow through. So what we're watching is the potential of an inverse head and shoulders. And at this point, the bulls better show up soon because it's close to being negated. And we would have to see a break of these resistances, 242 and 241.82. That's a little double top of resistance and the most important level that the bulls need to break. I personally started scaling in off of this support, anticipating 222 would hold. And even if it didn't, the hourly RSI would have dropped down towards oversold conditions. So I entered a couple positions at an average of about 226, and I would have added more under 220 if we got to hourly oversold. But where we stand right now, I am looking at setting a stop loss below the recent lows and setting a stop buy if we can get over these 242 levels. So that's a way of starting to build a position so I don't have to get it all at once. And if this bull move did take place and we were able to break that hourly resistance, we'd zoom out to the 4-hour time frame and we'd look for a 4-hour lower high to form somewhere in the 250 range. So that's the current trade that I'm keeping an eye on. If we do drop down and break bearish, we'll be watching for an hourly oversold bounce entry opportunity. And that's the other scenario. I could keep my small position and then just place some buy orders in the 2 teens and then down in the 205 range in case things got extreme. But again, the hourly RSI hasn't really gotten oversold. Down at the low here of that dump, we were right at that 30 level, but haven't really gotten that oversold on the hourly time frame for Ethereum yet at this point. And we, of course, want to be aware of what the Bitcoin RSI levels are at, because if Ethereum's RSI is at 30, but Bitcoin's RSI is at 40, we know that that may lead to a bit more extreme reaction, or I should say a bit more extreme RSI level on Ethereum. So looking at Bitcoin here, I'm pretty comfortable because the RSI is at 30, and if we do drop down, we're going to be oversold very quickly, and the 4-hour RSI is approaching oversold as well. So that's a reason that I would be pretty comfortable looking for some additional ETH in the lower 200s. Litecoin was a really nice equilibrium. You can see the pullback here, pretty significant on Litecoin over the last 2 days, and we are looking for a daily higher low to form, but need to see an hourly bull break of this equilibrium. So we've got our low of the pullback, high of the bounce, higher low, and actually we ended up forming a bit of a double bottom at 84, so we can just say that 84 is the must-hold level, and then clear lower highs, 89.06, 88.90, and just grinding down the exponential resistance. We're either going to see a bear break towards $80, or we're going to get over the exponential resistance and break the hourly lower high pattern. That's what we're watching in the short term in the crypto space, pretty much for all of these names with their hourly exponential resistances. So if we break bearish, we're going to be looking for a 4-hour oversold bounce play. If we break bullish, we're going to be looking for tightening 4-hour ranges and lower highs to form. And again, with the amount of range that these names have now established from their high to the low of this consolidation, we can anticipate that once our low is found, you can see Litecoin pulling back 20+%, but once that low is found, we're going to look to trade within that range for a decent amount of time. So expecting things to slow down in the cryptocurrency space once we do get some confidence from these bulls, and patiently waiting for that. So establish your trade game plan. Are you going to try and get this daily higher low? Are you going to wait for an hourly shift in momentum? Are you going to sit on your hands and wait for the daily range to give us a clear break? Keeping in mind that Bitcoin still has not consolidated on the weekly time frame since this shift in momentum has occurred. And if we see a bear break and further follow through to the downside, we'll be watching for the potential that weekly consolidation is underway. So hope you're well. Hope too many people, and again, it's just another lesson for playing with margin. And I said in the chat room today, in my opinion, you should not be playing with margin unless you have at least 2 years of trading experience. It's playing with fire. It's huge risk, huge reward. But I cannot tell you how many stories that I have heard from inexperienced traders blowing up their account and being out of the crypto game because they messed around with leverage without really fully understanding what they're doing. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. And a lot of people got absolutely crushed with their long leveraged positions yesterday. Okay. Hope you're well. Do good things out there. We'll check back in over the weekend as I am able to, and we'll get some altcoins in the near-term future as well. Thanks again. See you soon.